Hello again, we're continuing our tutorials on Unreal Media Server. My name is Max, I'm one of the architects of Unreal Media Server. And in this tutorial we will cover live streaming with live Flash media encoders. Unreal Media Server can ingest live RTMP streams from Flash media encoders such as Adobe Live Flash Media Encoder, Telestream Wirecast, XSplit, different various software and hardware encoders. There is many professional hardware encoders that send streams to media servers over RTMP protocol, publish streams over RTMP protocol. So in this tutorial I'll show you how to connect and stream with Adobe Live Flash Media Encoder and Telestream Wirecast. So here we have the media server in the state as we left it from the last tutorial. We have two broadcasts configured, dynamic live broadcast and static live broadcast, that point to Unreal Live server, which is our own proprietary encoder. Let's create another live broadcast of this type: rebroadcast live RTMP RTSP stream. So this broadcast is able to ingest in a push or pull mode RTMP, RTSP, MPEG transport stream and MMS streams sent from various encoders. So in this tutorial we will concentrate on RTMP. Select the RTMP from this drop down. Let's call this broadcast flash test. And you can require authentication when the encoder connects, or you can disable the authentication, then the encoder will connect without asking you username and password. Again, if you don't require authentication, any live flash encoder that knows the IP address of media server and this alias name can connect. So it's better to protect this broadcast with username and password. So this username and password is per this broadcast. For different broadcasts you will specify different passwords. Actually the username is same, so it's just protected by the password. So let's create some password, but it's important that this password is per broadcast, unlike other streaming servers where you create a user and this user can upload, publish a stream to any existing broadcast. Here the password is not per user but per broadcast. So you click on OK and you have the flash test broadcast. On this machine I have Adobe Flash Media Encoder. Currently it's working with the same webcam. So basically you select your audio and video devices. On the audio, if you have the AAC plugin, it's better to stream with AAC. MP3 will work too in most applications, most players, but AAC is preferable. Let's change the sampler rate. And select stream to Flash Media Server, and here you need to specify the same name you've specified here. We called it Flash Test. So what you need to do is you need to type the IP address of this media server, 192.168.1.6, the port as I showed you before, the port for live encoders is 5130. You can change this port, but by default it's 5130. So 5130. You must have a word live, because it's a live of the application. Flash application is live, and then you need to type the name of your live broadcast, the same alias. We called it flash test. Flash test. Flash test. Okay, connect. When you connect, it asks you for the username and password, and as we specified there, the username was encoder and the password was the one that I gave it, and it's connected. Going to media server panel, you can see here in live server connections, it appears, the new connection appears, and the connection is idle. No stream is going over this connection until we click start. And when we click start, the actual encoding starts, and the stream starts going, and the status here changes to receiving stream over RTMP. And the previous, this one is, remember, we created the dynamic live broadcast, so the live server maintains an idle connection. But here we are interested in this one, so let's try to play this this broadcast. We can play it here on local machine. We can also switch to my other computer. Let's try it from here. This is 192.168.1.5. Play live broadcast. This is the IP address of our server computer, and we called the alias, our alias was flash test. Flash test. Okay. Okay, we're playing. So here in this server computer we see the active user playing from this computer. Let's play on this machine too, on the same computer. It's called flash test. Flash test. Okay, we are playing here. So currently we have 2 users. In the media server panel you can see all users that play this broadcast. Okay, that's about Adobe Flash Media Encoder. When we stop encoding, the other computer said that it cannot receive data because Flash Media Encoder is not uploading the stream anymore. Let's close Flash Media Encoder. And now I want to show you how to stream with Telestream Wirecast. Again, this flash test broadcast, once you have the flash encoder publishing the stream, you can view it with any player, any device, as long as it is H.264 and AAC stream. In one of the following tutorials I'll show you how to see any of those broadcasts on pretty much on any device, on any screen with any player. Currently I want to show you how to stream with Wirecast. So I have Wirecast on my other computer. Let's let's start the Wirecast. Telestream Wirecast. Cancel. I have this configuration here. Okay. It used to stream with webcam. Let's delete this webcam. And actually, right now, let's stream the desktop using our use screen capture, using our screen capture filter. So here we can add use screen capture shot. That's our screen capturing software. Go. Okay, let's go to broadcast settings. And we need to specify the same RTMP URL we specified on the Flash Media, Adobe Flash Media encoder. So here is going to be 192.168.1.6. The port is correct. A live broadcast is named Flash Test. Flash Test. The way to set credentials in Wirecast is you need to set it here. So the username is encoder. And the password is the one I gave it. So if all the settings are correct, we should be okay. Save. Broadcast. Let's stop broadcasting for a second and try to play the broadcast from here. Flash test. And it says the provider doesn't exist. That means no Flash encoder publishes stream to this broadcast. So let's broadcast. Okay, some settings are incorrect. Let's go again to broadcast settings. Probably the credentials needs to be reset. So okay, save, broadcast, and it looks like now it's broadcasting. Let's try to play again. And yes, now we are broadcasting the screen here using Telestream Wirecast. So it works. So you can see that we received the stream over RTMP from Telestream Wirecast. We have one active user, so that's about uploading, publishing streams with RTMP Flash encoders. So similarly to Flash Media encoder, Adobe Flash Media encoder and Telestream Wirecast, you can use any other hardware or software encoder that publishes streams to Flash Media servers. The configuration is similar.
So the second part of this tutorial is adaptive bitrate streaming. To do adaptive bitrate streaming, you need to encode video with multiple video bitrates. So a single video stream should contain multiple video bitrates. You can do it with a number of video encoders. In this tutorial I'm going to demonstrate live Flash Media encoder and Telestream Wirecast. So On this machine I have Unreal Media Server, and let's create a live broadcast for RTMP push. So let's call this broadcast FMLE1. Select RTMP here and specify some password. Okay. Now let's open the Telestream Wirecast. I mean the Flash Media encoder. I'll show the Wirecast later. Okay. This is the Flash Media encoder, and I have 3 bitrates configured here with different frame sizes. It makes sense to provide lower frame sizes for lower bitrates. You could encode HD, HD for the highest bitrate. Just this machine is not that strong. You need to have a very strong machine to encode multiple video bitrates. So I'm going to encode 960, 640 and 320 frame widths with those bitrates. For multiple bitrate streaming, you need to append %i to the stream name, and the stream name really doesn't matter. We can provide any stream name. %i. Okay, we're still recording. That's good. And let's provide the URL, the Flash Media Server URL. That's the RTMP URL in Unreal Media Server, which is going to be the IP address of this machine, which is 172.16.100.47. The port is 5130. That's the default port. Then live, and then the alias that we gave to this broadcast, which is FMLE1. Okay, we are ready to connect. Okay, we're connected. We can start streaming, and the encoding has started. We are uploading 3 streams, and as you can see here on the configuration of media server configuration, we have 3 streams that we receive over RTMP to this media server. When you receive 3 streams, you have 3 aliases, actually 3 aliases to play. All the streams are being uploaded to this one alias, but in reality, if this is the case, then you can play those streams individually. So the first is, of course, FMLE1. Let's play it. FMLE1. Okay, that's the webcam that watches me to record this tutorial. The second stream is going to be FMLE1_2. As you can see, this is lower resolution. And the third, the smallest one, is FMLE1_3. Okay, so you can play those streams individually, but how do you create a web page, or how do you play those streams in an adaptive bitrate way, so that the player switches automatically between those bitrates based on bandwidth, or you provide a web page so that the user can manually switch between those bitrates? So there's 2 ways. First is create an HLS broadcasting. When you start HLS, and go to the web folder where the M3U file is created, you will see that this M3U8 file is ready for adaptive bitrate streaming. So when iOS, iPad, iPhone users will navigate to this M3U8 file, this file contains references to individual M3U8 files for individual bitrates. So when iPhone user will navigate to this file, then the playback will be adaptive based on the available bandwidth. So let's copy this file and paste this on somewhere. I'll just need this file later for Wirecast demonstration. So HLS is in progress, so your iPhone users can view the adaptive stream right now. Now you can also do an adaptive stream over Flash using Flash player. To do that, you need some Flash player that can play in adaptive way. One of the players that can do that is Flow Player. Flow Player provides bandwidth detection plugin and can also switch between different bitrates automatically. So on our website, we have, on our demo page, we have 2 pages that play that uses Flow Player to play a file. So let's open one of them. Automatic bitrate switching. Currently, this plays a file from our demo server. So it's switched between bitrates automatically. What I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this file to play our live broadcast that we're now streaming with Flash media encoder. So let's use source, copy the source and open it with Notepad. Okay. So what we need to do is these are the 3 streams that you need to provide. So the first one is normally the lowest one, is FMLE 1_3. And let's see, FMLE 1_3 is this one, is 200. So it's encoded with 200 kbps video and 96 kbps audio, so it's 296. Bitrate is 296. Width is 320. The second one is FMLE _2, and the bandwidth is, bitrate is, I'm sorry, the width is 640, and the bitrate is this one, and the third one, the biggest one, is FMLE or FMLE _1. It's the same. So you can leave it like that, or you can do FMLE 1. Okay, the width there is 960. And the bitrate here is 6. Okay. Okay, after you edit those 3 entries in the file, you need to change the live options from false, which was for files, to true. Here in the flow player, in the clip section of flow player, and in the bandwidth detection plugin. Live, true. Okay, and you need to change the net connection URL for bandwidth detection and for RTMP streaming. So since we are on this machine, the RTMP URL for playback is 172.16.247. The port of Unreal Media Server is 5195. This is not VOD, this is live, so we are live. So that's the RTMP URL. So when the player connects, it uses this RTMP URL plus the alias name that we provided. So let's put the same here. Okay. And I believe we're done. So the default profile is the lowest, and the player is going to switch to the higher profiles if we have available bandwidth. Let's save this file as auto HTML. And let's put this auto file into our CINET pub www root. Alright. And now we can try to play it. So we can go to localhost auto HTML. Okay. And you can see it immediately switch to the medium profile, and then eventually it's going to switch to the highest profile since I have available bandwidth here. Okay, so that's the automatical bitrate switching. Now let's open the other web page, manual bitrate switching. And let's do the same. Copy the source code, open Notepad, and change the same bitrate entries in this file. So let's copy it from the other file, from the auto file, bitrates. Okay. Let's also copy the net connection URL. In this file, there is no bandwidth detection, so you only need to change it here. And you need to change the live option to true. That's all you need to do. Let's save this file as manual HTML. And close this, close this. Let's copy the manual HTML to web web root folder, and let's try to play it in web browser. So it's going to be localhost manual HTML. So as you can see, it starts with the lowest, with 296K. The video quality is not very good. Now we can manually switch it to the medium profile, and you can see that now it plays the medium profile here, and you can switch it to the highest profile. Okay, so that's about Flash adaptive streaming. And now I want to show you how to do the same with different live media encoder with Wirecast. So Adobe Live Flash Media Encoder is still uploading the stream. Let's stop streaming, close Live Flash Media Encoder. As you can see, HLS automatically stops. And let's open the Wirecast. Okay. Let's add the webcam. Delete this. Add microphone. Okay. I already have the presets created for these bitrates and frame sizes. So let's add 3 bitrates. It's gonna be start with the highest, and then let's add the second one, and let's now add the third one, the lowest. So these are the same bitrates as we did with Flash Media Encoder. The only difference between Wirecast and Flash Media Encoder is that in Wirecast you need to stream each bitrate to a separate live broadcast. You cannot stream all 3 of those profiles to the same live broadcast configured in Unreal Media Server. So let's edit the parameters here. This will be the publishing URL, so it's going to be 172.16.247. The publishing port is 5130/live. And the first one is going to go to Wirecast 1. The second, okay, let's copy that. This is the second one. That's gonna go to Wirecast 2. And this one is going to go to Wirecast 3. Okay, so Wirecast 1, 2 and 3 are the three broadcasts that we're going to configure here in the media server. So let's create three new live broadcasts. Wirecast 1, RTMP. Let's not do authentication, just to speed up things. Wirecast 1, Wirecast 2, and Wirecast 3. No authentication, just to simplify this tutorial. Okay, so we have three broadcasts for Wirecast and three corresponding profiles here with the same bit rates and same frame sizes that we used with live flash media encoder. Alright, the stream name does not matter. Save, and let's start broadcasting. And we can see here in the live server connections that those three aliases, those three live broadcasts receive live stream from RTMP, from Wirecast. Well, so now we need to do the same as we did with live flash media encoder. So to create an adaptive HLS, you need to create an individual, you need to start HLS individually on each one of those three broadcasts. So let's start HLS. Okay, start HLS here. Okay, and start HLS here. And of course you can play now, you can play those Wirecast live broadcasts with any player. Since it's H.264 and AAC, you can play it with, you can play them individually with any player. Let's try Wirecast 1 with our player. Okay, so Wirecast 2 and Wirecast 3. Okay, now we have HLS going on for each one of them. So let's open the HLS, and you can see the individual M3U8 files. What it doesn't have is it does not have a master M3U8 file that has references to those files. When we did it with live flash media encoder, since the same live broadcast received three streams, the file actually contained references to those individual ones. In this case, you need to create the master file manually. So let's copy this file, the one that we saved. Let's copy this file here. Let's call it master, and let's open it. And the only thing that we need to do is to replace these ones with our Wirecast ones. So let's do, this is gonna be Wirecast 1, this is gonna be Wirecast 2, and this is gonna be Wirecast 3. And the rest is fine because the bandwidth is the same, IP addresses are the same. So here you have a master M3U8 file. So now if your iPhone users will navigate to this file, they will have HLS adaptive streaming. It will switch between those three bitrates that Wirecast is uploading. Alright, so how about the RTMP adaptive? RTMP adaptive, let's do the same. Let's open, for example, this manual file, and the only thing we need to do here is change those aliases to Wirecast. So the lowest one was Wirecast 3, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. The second one is Wirecast 2, and the highest was Wirecast 1. So the default is the lowest. So that's all. Save this file, copy this file to our web root folder, www.root, and try to play this file in web browser. Okay. So we can see the lowest now. Since it's a default, then we can switch manually to the best profile and to the medium profile. So you can do the same in the automatic bitrate switching. Alright, that's the end of our tutorial about adaptive bitrate streaming.